Hey everybody, welcome back to Check the Gate, a Film Lovers Deep Dive. I'm Bert, and as always, I'm joined with Brandon.
Hello.
And Michael.
Hello.
And today we are doing our very last, the last of the Mohicans, our sixth Adam Sandler film, the 2010 film Grown Ups, which is about after their high school basketball coach passes away, five good friends and former teammates reunite for a 4th of July holiday weekend. Brandon, this was your pick. We obviously had to diverge from the Airheads debacle.
Yeah.
Why was this your
My
backup,
pick?
your pitch hitter? Yeah.
I've always had a fondness for this movie. I think it was funny because it's so relatable. Like, especially with that when I have kids and you're growing up and you're leaving your glory days behind you and you're reminiscing of those glory days, and then you get with your buddies and everything's just shits and giggles.
You're just riffing each other like old times.
Changed.
Yeah. Yeah. So I always find it relatable and it's fun.
Yeah. It did give me an itch to want to spend a weekend at a lake house cabin.
Yeah. With a nice, nice rope swing into the lake.
Hell yeah. I graduated from Notice, Idaho. So I have no
Hot dog.
There's never been an urge for me to go spend the weekend in Notice, Idaho. But
you could if you wanted to.
If we could bring Notice to a lakeside cabin, maybe. Depends on who's there. If my arch nemesis, the Colin Quinn-esque arch nemesis that I had back in Notice is there, I don't know if I can make it.
Yeah.
But
Might as well just not expend the energy.
But it definitely does give me that itch too. And also, this movie spawns Adam Sandler's very first sequel. Obviously, we have Happy Gilmore 2 coming out. Oh, you don't like the second one?
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
I think the second one has less of a plot than the first one, and this first one doesn't really have a whole lot of plot. It's really just
a nebulous that somehow resolves.
This kind of feels like
Well said, Michael.
yeah.
It's just up in the air, and then it's like, oh, just kidding, Bo. See you later.
Yep.
Any sort of drama that escalates gets diffused immediately.
By humor.
Adam Sandler, you lied to me. What if I promise to never do it again? Okay, we're fine.
Boom.
We want that rematch in basketball. Okay, finally we'll relent. Okay, there you go.
But
Chris
give him
Rock
the win.
he's the doormat of the family.
Yeah.
I wish I wasn't the doormat anymore. Okay, fine. You won't be the doormat. There we go.
Yeah.
Resolved.
Yeah. And this movie made a lot of money.
Yeah,
and
it did.
We'll talk about
I didn't honestly realize it until I looked up, facts about it, and I was blown away. I had no idea that it made that much money.
it makes sense that it got a sequel based on how much money it made. It's just like we were just saying, there's not a whole lot going on outside of just five guys that have known each other and worked together for the longest time. I'd say maybe with the exception of a Kevin James, he seems like kind of a new addition to this clan. He's been in...
Him and Adam Sandler had quite the relationship with Chuck and Larry and...
Chuck and Larry.
I forget about Chuck and Larry.
Yeah,
What's the other one?
He's in Pixels, but Pixels is after this.
I thought he was in a couple other ones too.
He has
some of the
a
newer
cameo
ones, but yeah, I think you're
50
right.
First Dates, where he's he's one of the, at the very beginning of 50 First Dates, when all the gals are being like, I'll never forget one night, and he's one of the guys.
Yeah.
He was one of them. So I think they had a relationship, but you're right though. It was his first time with the group as a whole, and I think it was just a good addition to the group.
And I feel like, because Adam Sandler wrote this movie also, I can see him pitching it and just being like, I just want my four homies to come out to Essex, Massachusetts, and then just tear shit up for 2 months while we film. And the studio said, please, here's $75 million. Go do that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And, and then they got what they got, and then they made a sequel, and I was just like, man, how do you escalate from there?
You can't, yeah.
Yeah, you just it's almost the same movie, just with more people. With Shaq. It has Shaq in it. So
oh, shit.
Yeah.
Does it?
Or should have said, oh, Shaq.
Yeah, he's Tim Meadows' brother. The
Oh.
other black guy that grew up in the town.
Yeah, the other one, yeah.
That's my favorite line from this movie, is when they finally do the rematch at the end and Tim Meadows goes, well, if it isn't the other black guy that grew up in this town.
Had you guys seen this before?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, cool.
My dad really likes this movie, which I get. Like, it does have like that nostalgia wave to it, which is kind of like what I was getting at a little bit. It's like it makes me want to, play the remember when game that you do when you meet up with your friends that you haven't seen in forever.
Yeah.
Where you maybe whether it's a piss alley or it's a cabin by the lake, sometimes you just want to go.
Yeah.
Remember that spot.
Remember
Say
when?
it just sounds like every time we get on before we start recording. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember Night Crew? Oh man.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Volbeat.
I don't want to keep singing. We might get flagged for.
Yep.
Copyright.
Anyway, let's dive into this bad boy. This is 2010, guys. Top 3 films 2010. Which Harry Potter's in the top 3?
I don't know. That was a week ago. I don't know.
Number 3 is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
I forgot they did 1 and 2.
Yeah. Number 2, Alice in Wonderland, the Tim Burton remake. And then number 1, Toy Story 3. A ticket cost in 2010, $7.89, which is equivalent to $11.60 our money. Budget for the film, $75 million, which is equivalent to $110.2 million. The box office was $272.2 million, which is equivalent to $400 million our money.
God damn.
Which is bananas.
Crazy.
And this film was nominated for 0 Academy Awards, but was nominated for Best Line from a Movie at the MTV Movie Awards for the line, "I want to get chocolate wasted."
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Who
Doesn't everybody want to get chocolate wasted, you know?
I want to get chocolate wasted. I heard that so many times since this movie's come out.
Yeah.
That was like one of the big lines in the trailer too, was chocolate wasted.
I forgot that there was like a lot of hype behind this movie too. A lot of promotion, a lot of advertising. Like every time I went to the movie theater, it was like cardboard cutouts, promoting this movie. And it was it came out in June, right?
Yeah,
summer movie.
Well, probably around 4th of July, I would assume.
Yeah,
right?
June 25th.
There you go.
So a big summer movie, yeah.
I feel like I remember them being like, I mean, you've seen Adam Sandler and Rob Schneider in movies. You've seen Adam Sandler and David Spade in movies, but have you seen them all in there together?
Yeah. Coming to a theater near you. June.
I don't know how accurate this is, but allegedly I had read that this script was made in the 90s and was ready to go. I don't know how true that is, because this movie definitely feels more like it was written for the older versions of these people with families. Yeah. But it was saying that it was originally, and this part makes sense if this is true, is that it was Chris Farley rather than Kevin James was in mind, and then he passed away and the movie got shelved. I don't know if we're saying that we waited 13 years for a Kevin James to grace us, but that didn't seem accurate.
Yeah. I feel like you could have found a replacement in 13 years.
Yeah, King of Queens was going on right then.
For sure.
Yeah. King of Queens.
Did you ever watch King of Queens?
Yeah, my dad and my stepmom used to watch it all the time. Like, literally, I would go to their house on the weekends, and they would just be like, after a movie we watched, like, oh, let's watch a couple episodes. Oh, let's watch it here. And they'd be on during the day. And it's just like
a little post-dinner aperitif.
Yeah.
He was also on Everybody Loves Raymond, too.
Every once in a while, yeah.
Yeah, he had a couple cameos.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, all those people.
All of them.
Obviously. I mean, we got Ray Romano in the last movie. But we start the film. It is the big game in 1978, the championship game. We're kind of meeting younger versions of our future stars. We obviously get the Adam Sandler, who's clearly the guy and the captain on the team, pointing everybody out. We got Chris Rock, who's terrible at basketball. Double dribbling. Because I'm black? And it's like, no, it's just terrible at double dribbling. The Kevin James, younger version of Kevin James, just bulldozes over people. That's how I played basketball. I'm not good, so I just gotta...
Larging and charging,
Yeah. The old Draymond Green,
Yeah.
It's funny
did I kick
because
you in the nuts?
that gym that they play basketball in reminds me of the elementary school gyms that I played basketball in.
The
like,
ones where the hoops are like connected to the wall by all four of those posts, and they collapse down. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Ours, you had to like crank.
Yeah, you got to get the big rod, and then
you couldn't shoot like a real arc. You had to shoot like a flat shot, or else you would hit the ceiling.
Yeah.
And to get them down, we had to take a shoe off and put it on our hands and hit it up. I went to a very old school in the middle of nowhere, so I don't know. But yes, the elementary gym across the street from us, that gym looks exactly like that too. It's everybody got a blueprint in the 50s on how to make a gymnasium, and then as long as the building is still structurally sound, they never updated the gym.
Yeah,
build.
We get David Spade with the worst haircut of all time, flirting with the girls in the crowd, and then we get the Rob Schneider surrogate who points at the girls, and then she goes, "Me? No, I'm talking about the Mary Lou Letourneau up there behind. I want the old lady behind you," kind of thing. Last 10 seconds of the game, we set up Adam Sandler's character for the 3-point bank shot. The bank is open, they say. The kid on the other team screams. He stepped on the line, but it doesn't matter. They win the game. Coach Buzzer, played by Farmer Fran himself, gives a speech at that same lake house, urges them that they need to play life like they play the game without regrets. Gotta hit him with his signature buzzer sound. Obviously, David Spade, his dad is wasted. Like father, like son. We're going to get a lot of that in the future.
For sure.
We get 30 years later in Beverly Hills. Adam Sandler's on the phone. He's letting us know, the audience, that he is the biggest agent in Hollywood, and he's going to take Brad Pitt off this picture if you don't listen to him, and if you keep not listening, then Julia Roberts is also off the picture. Okay, love you too. Bye. His kids are playing some video game where apparently the whole goal is just to kill people on a cruise ship. No, it's okay. You can also drown them too. Oh, okay. Now I get it.
The Spielbergs have a 150-inch TV.
Can we get one of those? Yeah, I'll make you a deal. You film me tea, I'll get you.
Yeah, you film me tea.
Make you a deal.
The kids in this movie, by the way, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of 50-50 when you get, obviously when the adults are mainly the focus, but you still have to have that family aspect. You don't really get, there's not really a dud in the bunch.
No.
So,
they're all great.
Yeah. He's trying to get them to play Chutes and Ladders. He's doing the whole, see what it is? It's like a board game. It's like if you land on a ladder, whoop, you go up the ladder. But if you hit a chute, you got to start all the way down. The phone's ringing. Someone needs to get the phone. These kids are spoiled. They're texting the maid to get them chamomile tea, maybe get the phone while she's at it. The phone stops ringing, but we hear a car crash. Goes outside. His youngest daughter was just ghost riding the whip, apparently, because she was trying to find the nav, because someone on the phone said that Coach Buzzer went to heaven. So I was trying to find on the navigation so you can find heaven, so you can visit your friend. Yeah. Hit Sandler like a ton of bricks. Coach Buzzer passed away. That guy was a very important person in my life. You know, we're kind of catching everybody up. You know, each scene now ends with someone hanging up the phone. We get Kevin James doing what he does a lot in this movie, letting us know he's fat by breaking an above ground pool. That causes, honestly, doesn't even look bad in this movie.
Yeah,
he looks all right.
Yeah. He does, yeah, for sure.
He gets a lot of fat hate in this movie.
Not quite his fighting weight, but
no, yeah. Here comes the boom, Kevin James.
Yeah,
okay?
but he still looks good.
Yeah, especially coming off of, wasn't Paul Blart like
Blart
2009?
Yeah,
where he loves eating hot dogs and
baby.
shit. Yeah,
yeah. Chris Rock, like we said at the beginning, is the doormat of the family. He made everyone food, some pumpkin risotto. Don't eat it; it's terrible. Luckily, his wife Maya Rudolph, who is I guess you would say the one who wears the pants in the family. Like he is the
you could say that for sure.
Yes, yeah, and the mother-in-law says it the entire movie.
Yeah,
which is so hilarious. Just the back and forth, like.
Why is she with them at the cabin?
Yeah, why'd you bring her along?
That big hunk of prosciutto is what Adam Sandler called her at the beginning.
I was watching this the other day with Cassie, and I was just like, I don't understand why the mother-in-law is here, and why is the maid here? If the whole time he keeps being like, no, she's not. Why didn't they just send her to Milan? You know, but whatever. Not gonna get in the weeds about it.
Yes,
they didn't either. Chris Rock. His wife Maya Rudolph bring home a pizza, so she saved her. He's like, throws the dishes. I can't even right now. David Spade is just playing David Spade in everything David Spade is in.
Yeah,
just a sleazy,
the immature, sleazy, alcoholic. I don't know if I'd say he's a douchebag, but he's definitely a degenerate.
He's borderline, yeah.
But he's also one of the funniest characters in this whole movie.
Think David Spade. When you close your eyes, that's what he's doing in this movie.
With his
if you were to spend some time at a lake house amongst David Spade's other friends, that's what David Spade would be.
Yeah, like rules of engagement, David Spade.
But we all kind of have a buddy that's like David Spade-esque, right?
I don't know.
Does
that make me the David Spade?
I was like, am I David Spade?
If I can't think of one, does that make me?
That's funny.
I got a better haircut. You do.
It's true.
And Michael doesn't need to worry about that.
Yeah, fuck. Love a good bald joke, right? Oh, if anybody was wondering, I'm bald, so.
Yeah, he bics it every weekend.
Every 3 days, actually. It's a whole routine. We won't get into it. Anyways.
It's a lot of maintenance.
Depends on the occasion, Gotcha. If I got pictures, I want to leave it a little long. That way I don't cause a glare in the camera. So.
Do you ever curl the one hair in the front? If it's a special occasion?
When I do miss a spot, it drives me absolutely bonkers. I feel touching my head and then I'll miss the line here. I'm like, oh shit. All right, well my hand's gonna be on my head all day.
Let it grow out just a little bit. Do the bow, like Phil and Lil from Rugrats.
Yeah, like a little baby. Yeah. Hey, I got some ideas. I'm gonna write these down.
Yeah. Please do. We'll wait. And Rob Schneider. The whole joke of Rob Schneider is that he's a vegan who has a type, and his type is 100-year-old women. So
he's another great character.
That's the vibe. I would argue this is one of the worst Rob Schneiders we've seen.
Yeah.
In the 6 movies.
For sure. But that makes you just why are they hanging around this guy? Who is he? He doesn't fit in to this group, which makes him a great character because he's just so uncomfortably awkward the entire time.
Hey, sports brings people together.
Yeah. How was he even on the basketball team?
Yeah. I can't remember. Was he... I can't remember his depiction when they were younger. This is obviously a change from when he was younger, right?
Yeah. It was just... He didn't have the pompadour.
Yeah.
But he still had, the Rob Schneider hair.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because remember, he's pointing at the girls that David Spade points at.
That's right.
And the one girl's like me, and he goes, no, past you. And it's the 35-year-old woman behind him.
Yeah.
At the funeral, we get a good old classic, hey, haven't seen you in so long, insert joke about you. You know, hey, I thought you were going to work out. What do you mean? You're fat? All that kind of stuff. Kevin James rolls up in a Cadillac because you know how we do. And, you know, every once in a while, like when I did my high school reunion, we went to Lock, Stock, and Barrel, and maybe I ordered the largest prime rib on the menu.
Yeah.
Just to let the people at Notice, Idaho, that I'm all right.
I'm doing okay.
It was also right after my surgery, and that was the first solid food I had. So
I am starving.
You know, Rob Schneider. Oh, here comes the hey. He's wearing a toupee that gives him like that pompadour, and he's like, it looks like Elvis was if Elvis was a Oompa Loompa.
Savage.
What I didn't mention is that Adam Sandler's married to Selma Hayek, and so she's going around meeting everybody. Oh, Rob Schneider, this is the guy you told me about who didn't hit puberty till he was 19. And this must be your mother, because it's Gloria. Nope, this is my wife, Gloria. They start tongue kissing each other, in which we get deep. Grody. Selma Hayek is very much out of her element. She's not happy because she is a fashionista, and they're supposed to be in Milan for Fashion Week. Very big, important week for her. But because we're going to a funeral, that's fine. But tomorrow, we're going to Milan. It seemed, obviously we're sitting in the church pews. We're filling up. We see that Colin Quinn, an old lazy eye, in every Adam Sandler movie's there. Calling him Big Hollywood. He's like, he's supposed to be a big Hollywood agent. He's like, do you think he manages Hulk Hogan? And he goes, no way. And he goes, well, then he ain't that important. I thought it was odd that the priest surprises Adam Sandler that he's giving the memorial speech.
Right, yeah.
He seemed really taken back. He's like, I'm shocked. You know, I'm glad that Coach Buzzer would want me to do this, but I'm just like, he's really taking.
But I'm not prepared.
I feel like you should have written a few words down. Obviously, you know, and he says that was the 1978 was the only time Coach Buzzer ever coached a championship team, and that's special. And in my head, I was like, the guy's famous for that one year. I like all the photos, by the way, behind him of like an older Coach Buzzer with like the distinguished mustache, who's clearly wearing a suit, doing the coach fist on the, like Coach K on the sidelines. Just
like in his prime, he wore a suit.
Yeah. Schneider gets up and sings Ave Maria quite terribly while Chris Rock and Adam Sandler bet on whether he's going to drop to a knee or not, to which obviously he does. He drops to a knee at the end. David Spade hits the everyone laughs and he goes, come on guys, it's a funeral. Grow up, Robbie. At the reception, Adam Sandler's nanny comes over, brings him some coffee, and he goes, oh no, this is for you. She's not a nanny, by the way. She's foreign exchange. She's like, she's from China. And David Spade's like, oh yeah, I've been to those websites too. He's like, no, she's a foreign exchange student.
Did you have some studying to do?
And he's like, no, you texted me to bring you coffee. No, coffee for you. Go inside, go study. You got the big test coming up. Big test coming up. And that's when we see that Kevin James's 48-month-old son is still breastfeeding.
Nice.
In front of everybody. Someone's like blocking her. She's like, oh, your son is adorable. How old is he?
48 months.
48 months. He's like, that's 4. He's like, yeah. Yeah, we were going to stop last year, but he just likes it so much.
I was joking with my wife the other day, and I was like, just imagine like referring to me as your like if we have kids. It's like, oh yeah, my 18-month-old, and then my 620-month-old. They like to do this together. They're like, isn't that like 30 something? I don't know what that is exactly, but
yeah, I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, it's my my kid, and my husband. Let's see.
It
Oh,
sounds less creepy when you
372.
say-
Yeah, I'm
there you
372
go.
months, by the way. So.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Soon to be 73.
I was gonna say pretty close. They thank Adam Sandler because he booked the lake house cabin for the whole weekend. Selma Hayek's like, "Why did you book it for the whole weekend?" He says, "It's 4th of July holiday. They wouldn't let me book it for a couple days, so we're going to leave early, but I had to book it for the whole weekend." We get to the cabin. I like that they pull up. Rob Schneider gets out of his shoebox car and he's like, "Hey, it's really nice you drove your piggy bank out here." They're all walking up to the cabin. We see the moth zapper out there zapping moths. The little girl's like, "What's that for?" And he goes, "Oh, what it does is it zaps them with electricity and puts them to sleep." And she's like, "Well, where do they go?" And David Spade's like, "Hell." Like, don't say that. Oh, sorry, not hell, Mexico. But they're shocking with electricity. They're killing him. As another moth hits the zapper. Father's like, "No, look, he's just sleeping." Picks it up, throws it in the air, hits the ground. He's still asleep.
Still asleep.
As the big mother-in-law comes by, "Oh, a porch swing. I know where I'm." Shoves a kid out of the way. Stomps on the moth, squishes him. Well, now he's dead.
Now he's dead.
I thought it was odd that Rob Schneider is the one who decides who gets what room, even though Adam Sandler's the one who booked the cabin. Why is Rob Schneider making these decisions?
It's always the freeloader, you know?
Yeah.
True. Because he wants the waterbed.
Yeah. Fair.
Ooh, we're doing the backstroke tonight.
He was like, "Oh, gross."
I want to go swimming with you guys. No.
No.
Why does the old lady get to go swimming and I can't? The mother-in-law hits us with she needs somewhere downstairs that needs some heat, even though it's 98 degrees, because she's got a big old bunion. Rob Schneider says, "Oh, I have a topical treatment we can put on that. It's maize." And Dave Smith's like, "It's corn. Maize is corn, everybody."
Yeah.
Why do you gotta say it like that? No, I like when he says maize. It's maize. 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 It's amazing. That's when we see the massive bunion. And then for the rest of the movie, Chris Rock is now just thinking of different things to call his mother-in-law that has to do with her giant foot. Toby Bryant.
Toby Bryant.
While chilling outside, the guys can hear the kids inside playing video games, and then they turn into a bunch of old fogies that say, "Oh, back in my day, we used to go play outside until the lights came on, and that's when we had, all that stuff." They go inside. "Hey, now we're going to play like the Pilgrims played. No more video games, and we're going to enjoy outside," which is when they find a rope swing, which is apparently a true thing that happened to Adam Sandler when he was a kid, that he went out and swung, didn't let go, came back and hit a tree. And they decided that would be a lot funnier to see the fat guy Kevin James do that. So he gets excited, goes on the rope swing, swings out. "Oh, too high. Too high. Swings back, slams into a tree, and then what I wrote down, probably the most painful fall I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
Folding like a lawn chair, hitting different.
Ugh.
We hear a snap. He comes up. "Oh my God, I broke my leg." He's holding the stick out, making it look like a bone piercer's leg. The daughter sees that he landed on a bird. The bird is hurt. They go to sit. David says, "Did you really fall on that bird?" He goes, "I don't know. Like, I heard chirping and then a crunch and then nothing. So it could have been anything."
Dad, are you okay? Did you kill that fucking bird?
Yeah.
That night, everyone goes out to the diner where the gang growing up used to get wasted. To which the kids are like, "What is wasted?" And he goes, "Oh, wasted is when you're out all the parents are looking at him like, what are you gonna say?" He's like, "Oh, you just get a big old hankering for ice cream." To which all the kids are like, "I want to get wasted. I want to get chocolate wasted." Applause break. Everyone, it's the greatest line anyone's ever heard.
Yeah, exactly.
We see that Colin Quinn is working in the cooks. He's a cook for the diner who just every small town has that one person that can't let go of that one thing that happened 30 years ago. That's Colin Quinn. He sees Adam Sandler, just He's like, oh, hey, who is that? And he goes, hey, your foot was on the line. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, a lot of bad calls in that game. He's like, from 1978?
Yeah.
And he's like, I want a rematch. He's like, what does he say? Something like, I see you've gained some weight. And Adam Sandler's like, since I was 12? Yeah.
Yes.
Put on a few pounds. In the morning, they're going out to spread. They decide that in the morning they're going to go out to McIntyre Island to spread Coach's ashes, but Adam Sandler can't be there because unfortunately we have to leave early because we got to go to Milan. He's obviously shooting daggers over at Selma Hayek. You know, it's a big week for her. You know, it's a big clothing line. You know, last year we missed our daughter's pageant because of Milan Fashion Week, so she gets up, storms away. He follows her, he's like, hey, I'm sorry. And she's like, you're making me out to be the bad guy. I want to prove to everybody that I'm not some dragon lady. So you go spread the ashes, and then the next day, we are going to Milan. He says, all's fair. Sounds good. That morning, Schneider makes some terrible breakfast of dehydrated fruit and vegan pancakes.
What is this, a scab?
It's a dehydrated banana. It's like, what happened to eating just a peel?
You
banana
peel
and
it, and you eat it.
It's fun. The kids love it.
It's fun.
Then he hits him with it.
Oh, I know what it's for. Smacks him across the face. The pancakes are gray. He's like, he looks like you shaved this off an elephant's leg.
Gross.
His wife, Gloria, is like, don't worry, I got you covered. I get it. Hands him a big old bag of bacon. She gets it. Oh, thank God she gets it. He goes to start making it, to which Schneider's like, no, you have to keep the animal flesh away from the vegan food, you murderer. To which he's like, well, how am I supposed... Oh, I know what I'm supposed to do. And he smacks him in the face with the... Did you catch that moment where he hits him with that bacon and everyone in the room like looks at him like, was that too far?
To hit a vegan with bacon.
Only for the tension to break because mother-in-law rips ass and blames it on the dog.
Yeah. Classic.
Who doesn't?
He goes outside, starts cooking the bacon on the moth zapper. Did you clean that? Of course I cleaned it. Kevin James takes a big old bite. He's like, spits a moth out. He's like, you didn't clean this. But you cleaned it, dude. I love Chris Rock. Oh, you got the new foreman. They end up rowing off to the island after several Kevin James sissy breaks.
Sissies, that's right.
He's on his fourth piss break. And it's like, as like passers-by drive by, he's just like, by the way, I watched this on Hulu. Did you guys watch this on Hulu?
Mm-mm.
Disney Plus, but yeah.
Mine is like the TV version for some reason. Like it would cut away like it was going to commercial break. And it also censored swear words. And it completely edits out the sound of him peeing in the lake. So when David Spade's like, I know what he's saying. Too old, stop.
Yeah.
Have to go, stop. You know, like you can't hear any of that. So like,
yeah,
Hulu,
that
like,
was it.
censored that. Yeah. They get to the island. They toast Coach with a bucket of KFC chicken. Rob Schneider's throwing the ashes in the air. Great speech giver, buzzer sound maker. He goes in, grabs some Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh, Coach hands. Kevin James like, I know this is disgusting, but I'm hungry. I'm still eating it. Schneider lets us know that he feels bad because he feels like he let Coach down because he's just a terrible dad. He's been married 4 times and he's kind of neglected his children. And like, hey, it's okay. You can, get together with your kids. Once you get home, you'll just call them. He goes, I already called them and they'll be here in 20 minutes. As they're coming, right when they get back to the cabin is when the first daughter shows up, who they say has clearly got 90% of her looks from her mother. She's obviously way more attractive than think of a Rob Schneider offspring
no kidding.
might be. She's out there trying to fix her car. She makes the comment her old man got her this dumpy car. Because her boyfriend's a 47-year-old man. She wishes that she could like guys her own age, but she's just always chasing that father that was never there kind of thing. We get that scene of them sitting in the lawn chairs just watching her try to fix the car. I hope she never fixes that car. She won't. I took the spark plugs out. Nice.
Nice.
It's just like, Are we all just staring? Or we can't do that. Like, let's all take shifts.
Switch.
Like,
They're all like,
Chris Rock, Kevin James, you look at the tree. Sandler, Spade, we'll look at the ass. And switch. And shift.
Switch.
And shift. All four of them looking at... What are we doing? We all looking at the tree? Yeah, let's get back to the ass. Okay. Schneider comes over. He's really feeling down about being a bad dad. You know, he's like, I really hope that she can forgive me. He's like, what did we always used to do to cheer Robbie up when he would get upset? Arrow roulette. Oh, man.
yeah,
Great
geez.
game.
We were crazy. I can't believe we ever did something like that. Cut to them in the woods, in a circle. Adam Sandler's got a bow and arrow. All right, you know the rules. Last person to leave the circle wins. I can't believe we're doing this. Oh my God, we're doing this.
They're like, some of them are like giggling, and then it turns into terror.
I can't believe he talks into this every time. Shoots the arrow up in the sky. They're all looking. He's like, I lost it. David's like, I lose. He takes off running. We get like the slow motion montage of them all running. In different ways. We get Kevin James is running, gets a cramp, falls down. Chris Rock just absolutely gets taken out by a tree branch. David Spade trips, face falls right in some shit. Adam Sandler turns around, saves the dog because the dog hasn't left the circle.
Yeah.
As Rob Schneider's still just standing in the circle. Picks it up. I win. I'm better than all you. The arrow comes down. Gets him right in the foot. They carry him back to the cabin. They're like, what happened? He's like, Robbie was attacked by an Indian, but he got away. He got away, though.
He got away.
As he's coming back, Rob Schneider's other two daughters are showing up. One played by Jamie Chung, and another one who looks like a Rob Schneider clone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that one makes sense. Hey. Oh, hey. Schneider blows up on Gloria because she wants to alleviate the pain by rubbing maize on it. He's like, give me some alcohol for this bitch. He's like, you should know you were born during the Prohibition. And everyone's like, oh, fuck. And there's the snap. Selma Hayek inside the cabin. She's trying to get the nanny to help pack for Milan. He goes, I can't. Adam Sandler says I have to study for a big test.
I don't know what test. She's got like an anatomy and physiology book open.
She gets a phone call. She's trying to juggle packing, talking on the phone about coming to Milan, all while her daughter's letting her know that she lost a tooth. So kind of on her last nerve, Selma Hayek says, that's fine. Just put the tooth under the pillow and I'll give you the $1 tonight. To which the daughter realizes that there's no tooth fairy. Innocence lost. No. How old were you when you realized the tooth fairy wasn't real?
I don't know.
4.
Was there a time when you thought there was a tooth fairy? Our parents told us outright, there's no such thing as a tooth fairy.
There was for a bit. I was like, there's a fucking fairy that comes under my pillow and takes my tooth.
Yeah, it comes in as you're sleeping.
Yeah, my mom used to give me, or the tooth fairy, whatever, used to give me like silver dollars.
Ooh.
So I was like, this is not a normal amount of currency. This isn't just a crisp $1 bill. This is a magical $1 token that I've never heard of.
We got $2 for a tooth and $5 for two. Because the tooth fairy didn't have change. My mom didn't have change.
Shit.
So sometimes when you lost 2 teeth, you're like, oh, I'm buying a Bionicle tomorrow.
Yeah, all right, I'm going to sleep. See you later. Yeah, buying a Bionicle. Hell yeah, dude.
I had to do kid math. I was like, they're $6.99. How much is tax going to be? Go to my Lion King wallet to see if maybe there's $2 more in there so I can buy a Bionicle.
Magically.
What's a Bionicle?
You know what a Bionicle is?
Oh, Brandon. It's like Legos, but like when you get a little older, they're like the better Legos kind of.
But it's a Lego set? Okay, then that's what I thought it was.
Ish.
They're
kind of like if Legos and Connects were.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember when I went to daycare at the YMCA, we went swimming at the West Y. And before we went there was like this. It was like right when Bionicle was first coming out, and they had this like pop-up thing. We all got like free, Bionicle sets, and I was hooked.
That's rad.
Yeah, it was dope. Then I had to
collect them all.
Exactly.
Yeah. There were 6 of them. and then they just kept upgrading every year. They would get better and better, and you just have to keep getting the new ones.
Still make them?
Probably.
They sure do.
Hell yeah. Selma Hayek is upset. She lets Sandler know that she feels like she just ruined her daughter's childhood. And he was just like, she's going to find out eventually. And she's like, but she didn't have to find out today. Meanwhile, he's hearing the kids, clearly talking on the phone. He's like, I thought I said no cell phones. Comes in, sees childlike imagination at its finest.
The best.
All playing with cup phones. They're all 4 feet away from each other, talking into cups, asking if they can hear them.
They're
Chris
all
Rock's
strung out from
creepy
room to
perv
room.
son is hanging out in the bathroom, just being like, "Yeah, we could put the cup in the shower. That way, when they're showering, we can hear it." And he pulls the curtain. Oh my god! Loving that, seeing the kids are having fun without the use of technology. Adam Sandler says, in his best Adam Sandler, "This is the cup phone company. We need these installed in every adult's room pronto." To which we get that little sweet moment of Selma Hayek talking to her daughter on the cup phone, just saying, "No, I am the tooth fairy for our family." Just like Chris Rock's wife is the tooth fairy for her family. But don't tell the other kids, let them keep their... Which is something that we were told as kids too. Because we were told, no tooth fairy, no Santa Claus, none of that. But also don't ruin it for other kids. Because that's between a parent and a child conversation. So even though we always knew that it never existed... By the way, if you're listening... They exist. I didn't ruin it for anybody. What do you mean? Someone driving. Oh, shit.
I thought this was a movie podcast.
He didn't know this was a truth podcast.
Truth.
They hit a banana peel, go off a cliff. Oh, Doyle rules.
Oh, Doyle rules. There was a moment in this movie where I thought Adam Sandler says, "Oh, Doyle."
I think there is. Because
when he's doing the zip line, right?
Yeah.
Like when he's like, how do you beat backwards? But just watch, and as he's going, he's like, "Oh, Doyle!" Like,
yeah,
that's what it sounds like he says. But
see, and I think that could be what. Remember when we watched? Yeah, and I was like, "Is this the only one?" Because I thought I heard it grown ups, but
that next morning, as they're preparing to leave, Selma Hayek sees the kids having fun skipping rocks. She decides to come down and watch the kids. Do you know how to throw a rock, Mrs. Fader? And he's like, are you kidding? I'm the best. She goes, throws the rock, hits her son right in the stomach. Mom, I'm just glad to see you're finally having fun. She goes into confronts Sandler in the middle of the cabin, just saying, "Hey, we can't leave because I forgot how to skip a stone and we need to stick around." Sandler's jazzed. We're staying. Everyone's excited. Sandler's staying. Sandler's staying. So what do you want to do? Well, we could go swimming in this lake that's right here, or we can go down to the local water whiz and hang out at the water park.
Well, yeah.
Everyone's excited to go to the water. Kevin James, I'm not taking my shirt off. We get some fun water park hijinks. Everybody's having fun. Obviously we're tricking the old mother-in-law to get drenched by water. We're cutting in line, so we don't have to wait in line for this awesome slide. We got to trick Dan Patrick up at the top, lifeguarding it up, all while the women are flirting on a musclehead jock from the other side, trying to get him to come over. He finally does. His voice is really high like this. I'm from Saskatchewan. And they start laughing. They make comment that everything was on steroids except his voice.
Yeah.
That's a funny part.
That is funny, yeah.
We get Kevin James. You forgot about Saskatchewan?
I did forget about
Saskatchewan,
that.
Eh? Hey, ladies.
Kevin James pees in the pool. We have a dye in the water that makes... By the way, that's a myth. Every pool I've been in, I peed in.
Dude, I peed in so many pools.
Yeah. I said that to my wife, and she goes, "Congrats."
Yeah.
Would you like a medal?
If they have one, yeah.
Yeah.
Peed in. It says peed in every pool he's been in.
Peed in every pool.
It's like, why would I get out of the pool and go to the bathroom when I'm swimming in someone else's pee? So
Yeah, that's what the chlorine's for, okay?
Yeah.
It's just going to wash off.
We're all just souping it up right now.
Yeah.
Cesspool.
Oh, yeah. I wrote down, no way this zip line would exist for real.
Yeah, there's no fucking way.
They're going over like 2 different pools. It goes over the kiddie playground area. You're not strapped in. You're just holding on. And then over concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then into the deep end of the wave pool.
And then, no spoilers, but if you hold on too long, you're going to hit a freaking, like...
Wall.
What?
Yeah.
They get to the edge. Sandler's son is like, it's a little too scary. Turns out Colin Quinn and his posse are behind him. Pretty much calls him chicken. Colin Quinn's son, who looks like a fucking meth head, that kid.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, check this out. Goes down. That's kick-ass. My son's braver than yours. Adam Sandler's son gets the memo. Okay, I'll go. He decides to go back. Oh, backwards. Oh. He does it, nails it, has a lot of fun. All right, Sandman, you're up. And he's like, I don't know how I can do backwards, but just watch the dismount, to which I'm pretty sure he yells O'Doyle as he lets go.
Yeah.
Does a cool flip as he lands in the pool. Kevin James tells Colin Quinn, well, I guess it's second place again. And he goes, oh, yeah? Steve Buscemi here. He's going to go down by his feet. Steve, why me? Because you're an animal. He's like, I am an animal. Like, why don't you do it? He's like, I have kids. Buscemi's like, okay.
Fair point.
He latches in by his feet, goes swinging. He's got one foot out, can't get the other one, and just like Michael said, goes slamming in.
Demolishes that shed.
Through.
Or whatever the fuck it is.
Back at the cabin, Adam Sandler's teaching his son about the big fundamental. And by that I mean Tim Duncan's bank shot.
Bank's always open.
I don't know if Duncan's hitting threes off that bank shot, but like Kevin James said, he scored 2,000 points off this bank shot.
Different era of the NBA.
Yeah. The bank shots, Selma Hayek says that bank shot is hot. That night, David Spade is wrecked. They're all having s'mores. He's trying to get everybody to drink, and they're all like, we're responsible people. We have kids. I'm sticking with this one beer. David Spade's like, I did everyone's first shot for them. They got to get up next. Yeah. We're not doing it. And I love how he like breaks down when Sentimental Lady goes, oh, this song's the best. They all get up, dance with their spouses. And then apparently afterwards, they all have sex.
Yeah.
Kevin James and Sandler are like chugging water. And they're just like, also trying to figure out where Saskatchewan is?
Yeah.
I don't know. Something got into the ladies, man. I have no idea. Chug. Think. Chug. To which they hear Rob Schneider and Gloria having sex
doing
in
the
treehouse. Yeah, in a treehouse. I like how when Kevin James says that first night that they were really going at it on the waterbed. He sounds like sounded like 2 grizzlies fighting over a salmon. They decide to fuck with the drunk Spade who's passed out on the couch. He's like, you can't be in your 40s, no job, no responsibilities, and then just have nobody fuck with you. So they slap him in the face. Sweetheart, you fell asleep on the couch again. And Sam's like, you know you're supposed to be in your bed. They pick him up. Say, no, this isn't the closet. This is the bath. This is your bedroom, and you can go pee-pee in here if you need to. Near Spade. I'm pee-pee right now. I go pee-pee right now. Also, does he fuck the dog? Did he fuck the dog?
Leave it to interpretation.
No.
Probably not, though.
Something happened with that dog.
Curly?
That morning, everyone's in there having breakfast. The women are making uniforms. David Spade comes out of the closet. And they're like, man, you're such a degenerate. And he goes, I did have a great dream about a blonde lady last night. The dog walks out and he goes, or was it a dream? They all think it's funny. I'm like sitting here going, something happened with that dog.
You're like, yeah.
You know that's illegal, right?
I have a question mark here. Selma Hayek gets a call from Sandler's phone. The phone rings. She goes, oh, it's Lenny's phone. Is that does Adam Sandler have a ladybug phone case, or is that Selma Hayek's phone saying she got a phone call from Adam Sandler's phone? That's the question I have.
That's weird.
But
I didn't notice that.
She confronts him and says that it was their agent saying that Adam Sandler had already canceled the Milan trip before they even got to the funeral.
Ooh.
To which is when he's just like, sorry I lied. You know, our kids are spoiled rotten. I just figured maybe a weekend with normal people. And everyone's like, oh, we're normal. Figured a weekend with normal people would help them. To which he's like, I promise I'll never lie again. And then problem resolved. We're all back in love with each other.
Bingo.
They all load up in the family horse and buggy because they're going to the town 4th of July celebration. We get a bunch of fun stuff happening at the lake during the 4th of July stuff. We get the kids playing in the lake. They do the old is that the Blob from Heavyweights?
Yeah.
But with like a floating raft that sends Chris Rock's son flying in the air, lands right on his back.
I've always
Kevin
wanted
James
to do one of those.
I did too. No,
That'd be fun.
I never even came across one in the wild.
Yeah.
Just watching Heavyweights, I was like, I'm a fat kid. Maybe I can go to fat camp, and I could play on the Blob.
Ease.
Yeah, but with my luck, it'd be the Ben Stiller fat camp. Ugh. Half the Mighty Ducks are going to this camp. I want to go.
It's a star-studded event.
Keenan? Goldberg?
Uncle Tony?
That other kid from the first one that's not in the other two? Kevin James wants to go water skiing. Rob Schneider tries getting the boat going. But, guys, would you believe it? Kevin James too fat. The boat won't go. I like how he's just standing there waiting. Gotta hit it. Hit the throttle. Hit the throttle. It's so much so.
The nose just keeps going up.
The motor breaks off, and we just get Kevin James just doing the cut it hand motion.
We get the point.
And then my screen fades to black like it's going to commercial, cuts back to Colin Quinn, what seeming like mid-sentence goes, so the rematch is on. Which is why I feel like Hulu has some sort of weird TV version of this, because it just pops in. I don't know if you came across that at all, but it was just like, okay, so the rematch is on. Adam Sandler's like, we're all old, man. You guys are struggling. We got a guy wolfing down chili dogs, and David Spade's like, we're more worried about you eating the ball before we even start playing. Rob Schneider's got a hurt foot. You know, what do you say, Rob? We can't play. And Schneider gets up and goes, I think Coach would want me to try. I think if he was here, he'd want all of us to try. It sounds like, was that William Shatner? I guess we're on. Okay.
Ah, you're right. It did fade to black right after that.
Oh, did you just click on it?
Yeah. I've got it. I got it streaming on my phone right now, and I was like,
Brandon's watching
I'm almost
Grown-Ups.
Brandon's doing a shot for shot along with you.
All right, sounds good. The rematch is on. Cut to we get the music from the very beginning of the movie. We see Team Water Whiz come walking up like Reservoir Dogs style on a line. Their wives have all made cheerleading outfits for them. That's when we see Tim Meadows is there, and he does the well, if it isn't the other black guy that grew up in this town.
Buscemi's in a full body cast.
He's like, Steve Buscemi didn't sneak out of the ICU for you to not do this rematch. Full body cast, arms in the air. He's like, hey, Buscemi, was the field goal good? Ha ha ha. Never heard that one. You want me to get a box off the top shelf for you too while I'm at it? We get a little flashback. Rob Schneider hits us with the Motion 78. So as they're passing the ball, we get it cutting back to the younger versions of themselves running that same play, almost exactly identical, even to the point where the ball bounces off Chris Rock's head. That's how he passes to Rob Schneider. That sets him up for a classic bank in 3. The bank is open. Then we get some, a little montage of them. One side scores, the other side reciprocates, scores, to the point where we're all old people, we're out of breath. Kevin James and the bad guy's equivalent of a Kevin James just like, I can't do this anymore. You want to fake an injury? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
At the exact same time. Oh, pull the hammy, I can't. David Spade calls him Darth Vader. Everyone's quitting. Colin Quinn doesn't want us to end because it's 16-16 right now. The game's not over. Sandler decides, how about you and your son versus me and my son? Same score. Sounds good. Meth head kid, come in here. Adam Sandler's come in. He's like, we can get you that Voss water while we're at it. The kid's like, it's Voss with a V, and the meth head kid goes. Sandler hits us with a beautiful 3 right out the shot. 19-16. Get a couple screenplays. Colin Quinn throws up a 3, but his foot was on the line. Foot was on the line. Drills the 3. Sandler just lets it slide. It's fine. Good shot. Next score wins. Get some good defense. Son passes it. Sandler, he's got a wide open bank shot 3, and then he looks over in slow motion and sees Colin Quinn, the look of defeat on his face. He never misses that bank shot. You know, you have Lenny, you can go 200 for 200 on these bad boys. He goes over, deliberately misses that 3, and a piece of Kevin James dies that day. As he turns to his wife and says, he never misses that shot. He just looks absolutely defeated.
What the fuck?
Colin Quinn rebounds, passes it out to his son, passes it back to him. Colin Quinn scores the easy bucket, and they win.
Game.
Selma Hayek goes to him and says, I thought you never missed that shot. Like really trying to amp that drama. And he goes, well, I figured Colin Quinn's family needed to learn to win every once in a while, and our family needed to lose every once in a while.
Hell yeah.
So sweet.
Great line.
As they watch fireworks, I've always wanted to watch fireworks at a lake. I bet that's so awesome. Just floating in the river, watching fireworks go. A drunk David Spade again comes up, and he's just like, hey, Sandler, I know you're real upset about losing the game for us. And he's like, oh, you're drunk, aren't you? And he goes, yeah. But there's one thing they can never beat us at. And he's like, what's that, buddy? And he goes like, arrow roulette. And he goes, yeah, we're the best at that. David Spade presents a bow and arrow, shoots the arrow.
He's like, no, we're doing it.
Shoots the arrow in the air. It's panic. Everybody starts running. Everybody but Buscemi because he can't run. Everyone's just going to leave me here? Arrow comes down.
That part where he's like, you guys want to start the wave?
Yeah. Oh. Nobody.
I forgot about that.
I like how in the game, too, when it starts, everybody's got their hands.
Yeah. Then they all put him down, and he still got his up.
Woo! Tries to start it again. Nobody. Arrow hits Buscemi in the foot. Ah! We win again! Falls backward. Boom. Movie's done, guys.
Yeah.
Nice little bow on this movie. Again, there's not like a whole lot to it, but that doesn't necessarily make this movie bad. Like, this is just a great... Honestly, this is like a really good background movie, because I feel like this is on TBS all the time.
Yeah.
It's an easy movie to jump in at any point in the movie. You
see some funny stuff, and then you dip,
It's quotable. There's tons of good one-liners,
Yeah.
You watch until a commercial break happens, and then you
One of my favorite one-liners is when David Spade goes to Chris Rock at the beginning of the movie, and he's like, still using that palm olive, I see, as he shook his hand. It's like, yeah, you're still doing the dishes.
Dude, I was really...
soft hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really curious because he gets like a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was like, who has a strong opinion about like grown-ups, and they go to Rotten Tomatoes and like rank it, and someone's just like, oh yeah, I didn't think this was as funny, and I'm like,
F.
Well, duh, it's not this isn't Citizen Kane, bro. It's like,
yeah. It's just to make you laugh.
It's
that's it.
Yes.
I don't know. You don't go to McDonald's expect a 5-star meal, dude. Like, just know what you're getting.
This is something that I personally have found myself like, and through the growth of this podcast that we're going, you're kind of going through. Obviously, if there's a personal connection to a movie, I brought it up, and we brought up with Interstellar about me being up my own ass about a lot of things. I feel like part of my growth as far as watching these kind of movies is like, I feel like 10 years ago I would have had that opinion of, well, this is a fucking nothing movie, so F- for me. But it's just like, you should also be grading movies, like you said, on what you're getting.
Yeah.
What this movie is presenting, it's not trying to be something that it's not, and it should be graded as such.
Yeah.
Like, is this movie going to move the needle further for popular culture? No. But it's also a great movie to just have on in the, like we said, on in the background, sit down and watch it. You can watch it with your whole family. There's there's stuff for everybody in it. Like,
you're gonna laugh. It does have a good message, like
not everything has to be so fucking serious, guys. Like,
it's just a movie.
Especially coming off last week's Funny People, that was, we talked about maybe not necessarily a funny movie despite the title. A lot of sad, dour stuff just because of the subject matter, and then just like this was like the nice palate cleanser.
Well, and I think both messages don't take yourself so seriously. Like, it's supposed to be fun. Like, that's the message in Funny People, and this movie is not a drama. It's not action. I mean, it's just a comedy movie about people growing up. Like,
bros broing down.
Yeah.
Playing the Remember When game.
Yeah, reminiscing with your buddies from when you were younger, and I don't know, that's about it.
That's good stuff. I look forward to having a Remember When we all meet again in person. We're 3 different time zones right now, guys.
Oh my God. That is true. We're in 3 different time zones, aren't we?
Yeah. But, Michael, since this was your category, do you have any closing thoughts on Adam Sandler in general?
The Sandman?
I feel the same as I did when we started. Still, like most of his movies.
Still bricked up.
But I'm glad, all bricked up. Just been, just chilling over here the whole time. I'm glad you pointed that out. I wasn't going to say it. So, but I'm glad I got to see, I never saw Funny People. So I figured with all of us, you guys would pick one that I hadn't seen. So, but yeah, still feel the same. I like his movies. There, you know exactly what you're going to get.
Yeah, that's the main point, and he has stayed true to that, like, his entire career. He's basically playing the same character, but
yeah, I feel like now he's kind of all in on that. Like, he has that Netflix deal, so like a lot of his movies now go directly to Netflix.
Y'all ever seen the newish one where he's like in space?
No,
I haven't.
With the spider.
I don't know. It looks more drama-y than anything. Like, he's like
Isn't
stuck
there a
in
giant
space.
Spider in the spaceship with him?
No idea, to be honest.
I don't know if that's a spoiler. I've just seen a still image of like a giant.
I don't know a lot
there,
about it, but I know I'll probably have to watch it.
I'd be interested to see, because like we kind of talked about earlier. I don't remember which episode that we were talking about, with like the uncut gems of it all, where like it felt like he was really trying to make a quasi-serious movie for like Oscar buzz or whatever. Like, there was a lot of buzz about him in it, and then he didn't get a nomination, and then he made the comment that now he never has to wear a suit again,
right?
So he can go back to wearing, a hoodie,
basketball
shorts, for Conan to call him out at the Oscars.
Yeah, I was gonna
for a
say.
little fun moment. So, every 10 years, Adam Sandler, if you want to make a serious movie, go for it. But also, we enjoy your stuff now.
We'll just bask in the stuff you've already made.
Yeah. When does Happy Gilmore 2 come out? Is it already out? I'm behind the...
Should be soon, right?
If it's not already out, it's got to be pretty soon.
Yeah. End of June, early July.
Yeah.
This is July 25th.
Oh, so end of July. Anything else we need to talk about with grown-ups before we put Adam Sandler to bed?
Night-night.
Night-night.
Yeah. Well, as we close the chapter, another chapter opens. We are going to be taking the rest of the summer off, but we're going to have some James Bond stuff for you when we get back.
Can't wait.
So, I'm interested to see what movies you guys have chosen. Like, in case this is the first episode you've heard, we're about to pick 6 James Bond films, but for every film that gets chosen, that Bond actor's movies will now be strict from the record. That way our 6 movies will be all 6 actors in succession. Let me get to my list here. I've got all mine highlighted. I had to write them all out so I can keep track of what we're doing here. I'm excited about this. For my birthday this last year, I always do like some sort of movie marathon for my birthday. And last year we did all the Daniel Craig movies. Just because I asked my wife, I was like, do you want to do the first of every Bond actor, or do you want to just do Craig? Because Craig kind of it's like the only Bond series that actually feels like it's a continuation of the one before.
Yep.
There are other ones that are kind of direct sequels, mainly just one in general, but so we ended up doing that. And then also the Amazon news happened where the Broccoli family, since 1962, owned all the rights to James Bond, and then they sold the distribution rights to Amazon for like $1 billion, and then, but the Broccolis still got final call on it, and then Bezos was quoted as saying, "Pay that bitch whatever it takes to get her to leave." To which they paid them $2 billion for full creative. So $3 billion in total for the full rights to James Bond. So I thought before Bond is ruined forever,
give it a visit.
We would take a stroll from this. And, you kind of get every era there. You get the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
And
2000s.
Yeah, really the whole spread.
Yeah. So without further ado, I'm just going to go from my camera left to right, which, Michael, you are first. What would you like to do?
I think, so it's been a while since I've seen all of them, so it'll be a good revisit. It's been a while. I would like to do the classic, the Die Another Day one, the Pierce Brosnan.
Ooh, Die Another Day. All Pierce Brosnan movies are off the list. The Brosnan film that I had chosen, if it fell to me, was GoldenEye. That was the one I was feeling.
That was my second.
That was mine.
Video game mainly is probably holding a lot of weight for that.
Totally.
So let's erase all the others. So we now have Pierce Brosnan will be represented by Die Another Day. Brandon, what would you like? How did you attack this too? As somebody who has seen all movies, were you just like, I know that's a good one. Maybe I haven't seen this one. I'd like to revisit it.
So I had some movies in mind. I went with like the top movies of each actor, according to my perspective, but also like ones that I really want to watch. So I'm trying to strategize my draft pick here. So I will go Casino Royale, because that's probably one of my favorites out of all of them.
I think that's his best one, Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
I had Skyfall highlighted just because
that's a tough one too. Yeah.
That's the number 2.
Yeah.
Number
all right.
2.
Okay, so let's get rid of all other Daniel Craig films for Casino Royale. It falls to me. I feel like there's a specific Roger Moore that I feel like we have to do. So I'm going to choose The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's get rid of those.
See you, Roger.
The way that you hold me, whenever you hold me. All right. 3 people left, Michael. Where are we going? One of them will be really easy, and I have a feeling that one's just going to fall to me.
Yeah. don't know. Should I pick it? I've never
Yeah,
seen it. Fuck it.
It is a good one.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
I mean, we're doing it anyway.
Yeah, we have to do it.
I mean,
anyways.
let's
where we
go with
pick
it.
it.
Where I will pick it.
Yeah. The
Perfect.
Lone George Lazenby. Now, Brandon,
Then
you are
I will
left
go License to Kill.
oh,
I'll leave
Yes.
you, Sean Connery.
I will say, Timothy Dalton is probably my underrated.
Underrated
Bond.
for sure. Yeah.
I think people don't like him because he only made 2. But every time we get to an actor, I'm going to do a little expose on each guy, and we're going to talk about why he only did 2. But that being said, of his 2, you said License to Kill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is my personal favorite of his.
It's definitely.
Even though The Living Daylights is still pretty good. License to Kill. Okay. Sean Connery. I can tell you right now, the only one that I know I'm not going to choose is Diamonds Are Forever.
Yep.
Because chronologically it comes out after On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and I feel like we got to go in order. So, I have it between 2. I'm going to say Thunderball is off the table. That's probably the only
Okay.
Bond movie I find boring.
Yes. Good. Go on.
Oh,
Is it From Russia with Love?
I have it between Goldfinger and You Only Live Twice.
Oh, okay.
But part of me's like, do we start at the very beginning with Dr. No?
Yeah.
The OG? But I think... Because You Only Live Twice is clearly the... where Austin Powers gets the Dr. Evil from.
Yeah, for sure.
But I feel like Goldfinger really sets the template for what a Bond film is. So let's just go ahead and do Goldfinger.
Hell
Good
yeah.
choice.
Okay.
Cool beans.
So when we return, we will be doing Goldfinger, followed by On Her Majesty's Secret Service, followed by The Spy Who Loved Me, followed by License to Kill, followed by Die Another Day, and then we close it out with Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Should be a
Dang.
hoot, fellas.
Can't wait.
Yeah. That's a pretty stellar list we got
Yeah.
here.
I'm excited.
Yeah. 4 of them I had chosen, too. I highlighted 4 of the 6 that we did.
Look
So
at that.
That'll be fun. 1 was not by choice, but it's just George, you only did 1. I don't know what to tell you. We will return in October. Can't wait for y'all to listen. But until then, we say we go ahead and print check the gate.
See you guys.
See ya.